Society tells us that if you are alone on a Friday night, something is fundamentally wrong with you. We are constantly bombarded with the message that happiness equals a packed social calendar, a loud laugh in a crowded room, and an endless stream of notifications. But what if the exact opposite is true for a specific group of people? What if being alone isn't a sign of social failure, but a biological and psychological advantage? There is a massive difference between being lonely and being alone. Loneliness is a state of distress. It happens to you. But solitude? Solitude is a state of power. It is a choice. Today, we're breaking down the psychology of people who thrive in solitude and why your desire to be alone might actually be your greatest hidden strength. Point 1. The dopamine difference. Let's look at the brain. Why do some people feel energized at a party while others feel drained after 30 minutes? It comes down to how your brain processes reward chemicals, specifically dopamine. Highly extroverted people have a high threshold for dopamine. They need external stimulation, loud environments, new faces, unpredictable social dynamics just to feel normal. But for those who thrive in solitude, their brain's dopamine threshold is remarkably low. A crowded room doesn't energize them, it overloads their nervous system. Instead, their brains rely on a different neurotransmitter, acetylcholine. This chemical is tied to deep thinking, reflection, and internal focus. When these individuals read, create, or simply sit in silence, their brain is literally rewarding them. They aren't antisocial, they are biologically wired to find peace in the quiet. Point 2. The empathy paradox. There is a dangerous myth that people who spend a lot of time alone lack empathy or emotional intelligence. Psychology proves the exact opposite. People who embrace solitude often possess profoundly elevated self-awareness. Because they spend time disconnected from the noise of other people's opinions, they actually know who they are. They understand their triggers, their emotional boundaries, and their core values. Because they don't rely on a crowd for validation, they don't engage in people-pleasing. This means when they do choose to let you into their inner circle, the connection is incredibly authentic. They aren't with you because they're afraid of being alone. They're with you because they genuinely value you. Point 3. The default mode network. There's a reason why history's greatest thinkers, artists, and innovators intentionally isolated themselves. When you remove external distractions and stop consuming other people's content, your brain activates something called the default mode network. This is your brain's autopilot, responsible for deep reflection, consolidating memories, and connecting seemingly unrelated ideas. You physically cannot access the full power of your default mode network while making small talk or scrolling through feeds. People who love solitude are simply giving their brains the silent canvas required to be profoundly creative. So, if you are someone who actively guards your alone time, stop apologizing for it. You aren't weird, you aren't broken, and you certainly don't need to be fixed by society's loud standards. Solitude is not an escape from the real world. It is the ultimate meeting with yourself. The next time someone asks why you are spending the weekend alone, you don't need to invent an excuse. Just tell them you are busy thriving.